off of one of the craziest, best NFL seasons of all time. We are here again for 2022 season. I am so excited. Let's just get into it and let's hit that intro first. Howdy everyone, it's Sam. I hope you're doing really well. If you're new around here, I hope I can get you to consider liking the content and subscribing to the channel. And if you are a regular around these here parts, thank you very much for the continuous support. With me this evening to go through week one of NFL action is Entertain House and Nick from Australia. And I've got to say just quickly, I was sitting there twiddling me thumbs 48 hours ago and Mr. Nick from Australia messaged me and said, "What the fuck are you doing with the NFL this weekend, cunt?" And I just went, "Whoa, gee whiz, I better do something then, shouldn't I?" And Nick, man, it was your idea. I was going to originally just going to do my own thing, but it's better to have some mates talk about the upcoming season of NFL. So thank you for the idea, bro. How you going, Nick? Thank you again for being here.
Well, mate, thanks for letting me on, and thanks for taking my idea under consideration. I was getting sick of those fucking 2-minute videos that I see on social media about tipping videos. I just want to get all the boys together and let's have a chat about it. My knowledge of NFL isn't fantastic, but I am getting better at it as the years go on. But I'm keen for this season, bro. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, dude. And Entertain House, you joined me approximately 3 or 4 different times last season, all throughout the playoff series. And you and I even spoke to Chad Townsend for the Super Bowl preview as well, man, which still remains one of my favorite streams that I've ever done, man. But, dude, how excited are you about this season kicking off this weekend, man?
Yeah, very excited for this season. My own team, the Chiefs, look to be in a pretty good place. Lost a few players, but still right up there. Obviously, spoke to Chad Townsend for the Super Bowl, and I'll tell you what, I put some of those tips forward in that stream, and money bags came my way for the Super Bowl of 2021-2022 season. So hopefully we can go back to back with some great tips weekly and some bets for the people as well.
Yeah, definitely. Now, also, just a disclaimer to people that are just tuning in, and to everyone that is tuning in, actually, thank you very much for dropping by and say g'day. We got Paddy G that's just come in. G'day, matey. We got SS Storm Fan, Cody Games PlayStation, Rugby League Roundup. Thank you all. Jason Reader, Full Para NRL Games. They're all coming in thick and fast, man. Lol just watched all your separate tip videos. Yo, dude, thank you very much. And CJ Moxley is also in the house as well, guys. So, but just a disclaimer as well. There is that much news that happened during the off-season with player movements that it is just about impossible to fit it all into this video. And I've got as much information as I could have mustered onto my book here, but let's see how we go. But without further ado, let's get stuck into the very first game of the NFL season from SoFi Stadium. Los Angeles Rams are hosting the Buffalo Bills, and this game is taking place Friday morning, Australian Eastern Standard Time. And Nick from Australia, mate, can you please take us through the odds for this game first of all?
Love a season opener, mate. This game starts at 10:20 a.m. for us over here in Australia. Los Angeles Rams are outsiders here, so the Buffalo Bills are $1.75 and the Rams at $2.10. So pretty even contest to start the year.
Wow, dude. So just to go, so the last time that these two sides met was only in 2020. It was a 3-point victory to Buffalo, and this is the first time ever that the Buffalo Bills are playing at SoFi Stadium. So it's a bit of an occasion for the Buffalo Bills. That's house for me, man. That's an extraordinary odd that just Nick gave away. I would have thought that the champions would have been the favourites coming in, no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, high expectations for the Buffalo Bills in recent years with the fantastic seasons they've been having. They are also the favourites at $7 currently to win the Super Bowl. So the defending premiers are obviously going a little bit lower than the Buffalo Bills. But look, I probably would have had this game as an even contest, maybe that $1.90 price. But if you do like the Rams, and I probably do like the Rams, not as a tip for this particular game, but just in relation to the Super Bowl, their retention throughout the offseason has been huge. I believe they've re-signed Aaron Donald as well. So there's plenty of things to like about the Rams this year.
And there's also another player that they've added to their roster. Seahawks Super Bowl winning player Bobby Wagner has shifted over to the Los Angeles Rams, which was a bit sad for me, to be honest with you. So just as for tips goes, I got to back in the Los Angeles Rams just as they are the defending premiers, Super Bowl champions. And I think this can be I think this will be a low-scoring affair, something to the tune of 17 points to 17 to 13 or something to that tune. I think this will be a great game. And if it's anything like the first game of last season that featured Dallas Cowboys and Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's going to be a great contest. Nick, what's your tip for this weekend, man?
I'm going to go the Bills. I'm going to go Buffalo. I reckon they're going to – I mean, obviously they're the favourites to win, but betting the champs first up could be a bit of an upset, even though they are favourites slightly. I'm going to go Buffalo by – I'll go by 4. Let's go 19-15. And I'll tell you what, I reckon Gabriel Davis is going to get a touchdown.
Nice. Thank you, man. And House, what's your tip for this weekend?
I'm going to go with Nick here. Buffalo Bills are favourites at this game, their first time at SoFi Stadium. I reckon they'll be up for the occasion. I like the Bills minus 2.5 here. They're $1.96. You might find that to get to around that $2 mark. I'm going to take Buffalo by 6. I reckon they'll win by 2 field goals there. So, I'm going to go with a scoreline of maybe a 20-14 victory for Buffalo.
Okay, so that Super Bowl stream that you and I did, House, I think all three of you went for the Los Angeles Rams. I was the only one that went for the Cincinnati Bengals, and I was the only one that lost. So looks like it's just going to continue on that way for me, unfortunately. Let's go into the next contest now. And this is, look, at the start of the year, it wasn't a juicy contest, but with the not drama, but with the storyline coming into this game, there's going to be a lot more eyes on this contest than first anticipated. The Carolina Panthers are hosting the Cleveland Browns, and the last time that these two sides met was in December of 2018. But the last time that Cleveland actually played in Carolina was in December of 2014. And here's another one. The Cleveland Browns have never, ever won at the Carolina Panthers Stadium. So that's a stat in itself. Entertain House, do you, or Nick from Australia, do you guys know the massive storyline in this contest?
I know that there's a new quarterback at the Browns, isn't there?
No, nearly there, man. So Baker Mayfield was absolutely dusted by the Cleveland Browns. He couldn't find a home for the longest time. And Baker Mayfield was the quarterback that took them to their first playoff appearance in a really long time. And they've shafted him. And the Carolina Panthers are the team that have picked him up. And it is confirmed that Baker Mayfield will be the starting quarterback this weekend. And he has come out and said in very nice terms, I'm going to go hell for leather against my old club. Entertain House, man, what are the odds for this contest, man?
So the Browns are outsiders for this game, obviously for that reason that they haven't won at Carolina Stadium. They're $2.03, and the Carolina Panthers are $1.79. Just want to quickly touch on it. Could have been last season, but Kareem Hunt, that's a name I've seen before. He's come from the Broncos, hey? From Denver. I don't believe he was at Cleveland last year. I think that's a pickup from Denver, if I'm not mistaken, but I like the Browns to win this. I think Carolina can probably have a much better season overall. But I think the old team, even though they've kind of shafted their former quarterback in Baker Mayfield, I think that the Browns will win, and I think they'll win by a decent margin. I'll go by 10. So I'll go with a scoreline of along the lines of maybe 23-13. But yeah, I reckon the Browns will win this one.
Mate, what Nick from Australia, what are your senses? What are your spider senses telling you about this contest?
Home ground advantage. I'm going Carolina Panthers. I reckon Carolina by 6. Let's go 21-15, Carolina. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to go Christian McCaffrey to get a touchdown.
Okay, and well, look, that is a player that needs to fire And hopefully he's not made of glass in season 2022, as he has been for the past couple of seasons, McCaffrey. The Carolina Panthers won their first 3 games of last season unexpectedly. But you've also got Nick Chubb as well for the Cleveland Browns, the running back that is poised to do a lot of damage this season. This is a flip of the coin, but you know what? I'm going to trust that Baker Mayfield comes out and has an absolute blockbuster game against his old club in the Cleveland Browns. So I'm going to tip the Carolina Panthers to win this one, something to the tune of 23 points to 16. I think it'll be relatively close. I think both sides will score a couple of touchdowns or a touchdown, and I'm going to go for the Carolina Panthers to get off to winning ways in 2022. Now, the very next game that's coming up is from Ford Field in Detroit. The Detroit Lions are hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles traveled to Detroit only last season, and they walked away with a 44 points to 6 victory. And the other bit of news is that Philadelphia, they've recruited quite well in the offseason, for example. They've pinched Antonio Brown from the Tennessee Titans, was a massive loss for that franchise. And Detroit, they were entertaining. Yes, they were bottom tier stuff, but the Detroit Lions will be a very intriguing watch for 2022, and they could make a wild card appearance if they do fire on all cylinders. How do you see this, Nick from Australia? How do you see this turning out, and what are the odds for this contest?
Philadelphia $1.50, Detroit at $2.60. So Detroit at home, some pretty good value there if you like the Lions. But I think Philly win this game, and I reckon they win it well. I'm going to go Philadelphia. Let's go a scoreline of 27-12. And for a touchdown, don't mind backing guys for a touchdown here and there. I'll go Jalen Hurts.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, all right. I hope he does for you, man. Yeah, dude. And Entertain House, bro. How do you see this game coming up?
Yeah, I think Detroit will have a much better season than last year. You mentioned them potentially being a wild card. That's a big spanner in the works, but we could see it. I think a good bet for this game is the Philadelphia Eagles by 1-13. It's at Detroit as well, so I don't see Detroit winning it, but I don't mind that margin. I think it will be a 13-point victory specifically as well. I'll go with a scoreline of 27-14.
Yeah, they did get the win 44-6 last year. It's going to be a completely different kettle of fish. I am anticipating Philadelphia to be a level better than what they were last year, where they just snuck into the playoffs. I really want to tip Detroit. I don't mind the Lions, but I've got to go for the really good recruitment during the offseason, go for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think Detroit will score a couple of touchdowns in this game, something akin to a 31-14 scoreline. I think they will break, or they'll either just be level on 13, or they'll go that over 13-plus margin. The Philadelphia Eagles for me in this contest this weekend. Moving on to the next contest, and Nick from Australia, bro, it's one of your teams, man, from Miami, Hard Rock Cafe Stadium. The Miami Dolphins are hosting the New England Patriots. And check this out. So not only are both these sides AFC East rivals, Miami have a fantastic record as of late against the New England Patriots. Miami are on a 3-game winning streak and have won 4 of the past 6 encounters against the Patriots. And to think where the Miami Dolphins have been over the past few years, it's kind of extraordinary, man. Nick, I'll go with you again, man. This is your team. What are the odds looking like, and what's going to happen in this contest, you reckon?
Well, the odds are pretty unfair. Miami $1.55, the Patriots at $2.50, so that's juicy for the Patriots.
Yeah,
I'm never gonna go against my team. It's pretty rare that someone has a good record over the Patriots, considering how dominant they were a few years back. So, look, obviously, I backed the Patriots in. This game will be really tight. I'll go the Patriots. Let's go 22 points to 17. And for a touchdown, I'm going to go with Damian Harris.
Oh, okay, nice. And look, just because it's Nick's team doesn't mean that there's not a little bit of connotations for Entertain House. Entertain House, your man, your man from the Chiefs has drifted over to the Miami Dolphins, bro. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, it was a funny old off-season with a few different signings, but Tyreek Hill, obviously signing with the Miami Dolphins, and he's going to have a phenomenal season, probably on the back of Tua Tagovailoa, who's been in the NFL for a few seasons. He's been impressive, but he's yet to kind of hit that next level that we know he's capable of, and I expect a huge season from Miami, especially this game being at home. I think Miami will win by 7. Nick's been doing it all video. I'm going to chuck one in here. I reckon Jaden Waddell is going to get a touchdown. So Jaden Waddell to get a touchdown into Miami to win is $3.75, and I think Miami at home will be too good.
Nice. So you both aren't going to go for Tyreek Hill to score a touchdown in his first game. I reckon he's just about as special, isn't he, House?
Look, he's $2.30, which is some pretty damn good odds. You normally see that $1.90 value, $2 mark. So it is good value, but I don't know. He might take a couple games to get those combinations right, but we'll see. He probably will, but we'll see.
I've got 3 words for Tyreek Hill. Fuck Tyreek Hill.
Sweet.
Good luck, pal.
Yo, dude, no, not when it's up against his team. Look, I'm sorry, Nick, man. Even though the Patriots are $2.50 is bloody juicy, bro. You're chucking Tyreek Hill at $2.30. It was what you said, House. That's really good. I'm going to go the Miami Dolphins, and this could be an overtime contest. I'm going to say 23 points to 20, a field goal. Will win this one for the Miami Dolphins this weekend. And just quickly, just want to say, everyone, if you're just tuning in, this is Week 1 NFL Tips, and I'm joined by Nick from Australia and Entertain House. Everyone, thank you very much for all dropping by and saying g'day. National Sports Loaded, Rugby League Roundup, it's Bosky. Thank you all very much. And Paddy G, he reckons there's going to be a Lions upset this weekend. Fair enough. So let's move into the next contest now. And this is the road for the Cincinnati Bengals starts this weekend, doesn't it? The Cincinnati Bengals host the Pittsburgh Steelers from Paul Brown Stadium. And the Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers are AFC North rivals. Cincinnati are on a 3-game winning streak. But while this is the start to redemption for the Cincinnati Bengals for Super Bowl redemption, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers that are also a really, really interesting story in amongst itself, being that it's the Ben Roethlisberger-less era starting this weekend, which is huge for that club. Entertain House, what are the odds for this contest?
Pittsburgh Steelers are massive outsiders in this game. They're paying $3.28, and the runners-up, I guess you could say, for the NFL in 2021, the Cincinnati Bengals at $1.34. So, yeah, I think it's a very tough game for the Steelers, especially first up facing the Bengals. The Bengals being at home, I really think they'll be fired up for this game, especially after losing the Super Bowl last year. They're paying $2.90 to win this game by 14+. And I'm not going to lie, I feel like they're going to hit that kind of late 20s, early 30s and keep I would take Pittsburgh to score under 13. I would take Pittsburgh to score under 13. So, look, I'd go with something like I don't know. I don't even know if they'll score a touchdown. It might come down to field goals for them here. I reckon it might be like a 31-9 victory for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, strike me, Pink Maker. What do you reckon, Nick? Do you reckon the Steelers are in for a really rough night?
They're in for a rough year, I reckon. And I'll say this. Every single round 1 in any sport, there's always an upset, there's always a flogging, and there's always a disappointing team. This is going to be one of those blowout games. I reckon the Bengals win this game, and I reckon they might win really well. Losing the Super Bowl, round 1, back at home, they're going to annihilate the Steelers here. I'm going to go the Bengals 42-8.
Ooh, nice. I love that, bro.
And I'm telling you what, I reckon Joe Mixon is going to get 2 touchdowns.
Oh, what's that paying? $3?
I think he's the favorite at the moment to score any time. So for 2, I can try and find out.
Had a very good season last year.
Let me see if I can find out.
I'm checking now. I've got it. Joe Mixon.
It's
$4.90.
Chuck 10 on it. It's worth the $10.
Yeah. Absolutely, and I'm very much along the same wavelength as you. Not only do the Steelers lost Roethlisberger, they've also lost wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster as well. It's going to be a really lean year for Pittsburgh Steelers. Not as lean as some other franchises are going to endure, but it's still going to be lean based off of their lofty standards. The only query on the Cincinnati Bengals coming into this year was their offensive line. That was their Achilles heel last season, and that's the only job that they have gone and really focused on throughout the offseason. They've strengthened that part. I think Bengals are an absolute massive chance to go back-to-back Super Bowl appearances, and I think they're going to go off really well here. The Cincinnati Bengals to win this one just massively, 31-9, 42-10 scoreline. It's going to be a bloodbath, I reckon, in favor of the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, moving on to a completely other level. We're talking about Super Bowl appearances. Well, we've got potentially a wooden spoon matchup in the very first week of the NFL season. The newly anointed Washington Commanders are hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. The last time that these two sides met was in December of 2018, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are a team that has never, ever won at FedEx Field in Washington. Entertain House, man. What are the odds for this contest, please?
So you got the Jacksonville Jaguars at $2.19. You got the Washington Commanders favourites going into this one at home, $1.68, and they've got the line as 2 points. So they like Washington in this game to cover that 2 points at $1.85. If you like the outsiders of Jacksonville, you're getting $1.98 for Jacksonville to either keep within 2 or lose. But I feel like this game will be close. It probably has blowout written all over it. One of these teams to blow out the other for whatever reason, but I think it will be quite close. I think I'm going to go with a scoreline of 23-14 in favor of the Commanders.
Wow, Nick, man, do you think $2.15 about Jacksonville is a bit too short? I thought they'd probably be a bit bigger than that, mate.
Jacksonville, they're going to win. They're going to do it.
Oh!
I reckon they're going to do it. I think they're going to get the first ever win at this ground. Records are going to be broken, and there needs to be something in round one, like, world-breaking record. So I'm going to go Jacksonville by 10. I'll go 19-9 because why the hell not? I've got a bold one for you.
Yeah, man.
Washington won't get a touchdown. It'll be 3 field goals.
So that's what I reckon with the Steelers.
And for a touchdown, let's go, you know what, James Robinson for a touchdown.
Wow. Look, dude, Jacksonville Jaguars in the offseason, they spent nearly or just about as much money as anybody else. They did a lot of expensive recruiting. And look, if there is an upset to occur this weekend, this is definitely one of their matchups. So what Nick just said there, it does make sense, and it is extremely plausible, but it doesn't take away from the fact that I think that both these sides are still going to be bottom-tier teams come the end of the season. And I really liked a couple of seasons ago, and even at stages throughout last year, that the Commanders, or then the Washington football team, were really good defensively. And I really would like to see them go back to their defensive ways, man. So I'm going to go the Commanders actually to get this one, a scoreline of 27 points to 14. I do think the Jaguars are capable and probably will score a couple of touchdowns, but just because it's adrenaline first game of the new season. So I think Commanders will get away with a victory here, I reckon. So let's move on to the next contest, and I think both of these sides' trajectories are north and south. The Chicago Bears are hosting the San Francisco 49ers, and these two sides met last season. The San Francisco 49ers beat Chicago in Chicago 33 points to 22, and the storylines between these two sides surround their quarterback. Chicago have a young rookie that was injured, and he's got his first full opportunity this season up ahead of him. And then there's the San Francisco 49ers quarterback dilemma as well. Are they going to play Trey Lance, or are they going to play Jimmy Garoppolo, who was signed at the 11th hour last week. Nick from Australia, what are the odds for this contest, please, man?
So San Francisco, $1.35. Chicago at $3.35. So big odds there for the Chicago Bears. I think San Francisco win this game, and I reckon they win it well. I'll go San Francisco by 18 points. Let's go, I don't know, 30-12. Why not?
Yep.
And for a touchdown, I'm going to go with Elijah Mitchell.
Nice. Thank you, man. Entertaining us. How do you see this contest?
Look, I am going to go the 49ers here, and I look at the Chicago Bears every year and just go, they're just always, But I think they'll be competitive, especially at home. Obviously, the 1-13 points is the favorite in the betting. I expect that to shift and people to be on that 49ers 14 plus. But I think they'll win by 8. I'll go a bit of a weird scoreline, kind of an NRL scoreline there of 24 points to 16. So they'll probably get kind of one touchdown, a few field goals in there. But ultimately, the 49ers are just able to come up with touchdowns rather than field goals. And for me, I'll go Niners by 8, not by 9.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and the other signing that the 49ers have made this season, or just before the season kicks off, was the retention of Deebo Samuel. It was absolutely critical to their Super Bowl playoff chances that they re-signed him. They did. I think 49ers are a smoky. They're a smoky of making an appearance in the Super Bowl, I reckon. I'm going to go the 49ers to get a pretty nice win here, something along the lines of a 31 points to 12 sort of scoreline. I don't think the Bears are going to be in for a really nice season this year, I reckon. Moving on to the next contest from MetLife Stadium, the New York Jets are hosting the Baltimore Ravens, and there's just a stat here that I cannot get my head around. The last time that these two sides met, it was in 2019. Baltimore won. That's obvious. But before their matchup in 2019, they played each other 6 times since the year 2003, and the New York Jets have won on every single occasion. Since 2003, just to simplify it, the Jets are 6-1 against the Baltimore Ravens since 2003. I exploded when I saw that. Entertain House, what are the odds for this contest, please, man?
So rightly so, you've got the Baltimore Ravens at favourites $1.33, and you got the New York Jets at $3.34 outsiders. And look, I can't go past the Baltimore Ravens here. I think they'll do a bit of a job here. I really do. I reckon this will be a scoreline of about 31 points to 10. I think the Jets, they've been really dismal in recent seasons. They definitely need to show something at home. But unfortunately this week, I don't think they'll show much at all. I think the Ravens are actually the dark horse, in my opinion, this year. If this team can stay injury-free, we've already seen them have pretty good seasons previously. Last year, they actually haven't won a game of NFL since week 12 last season. So they're on about a 7-game losing streak. Besides, obviously, the preseason games, but I think Baltimore win, and I think they win well here.
Wow, dude. Nick, what's your take on this match?
New York's record is actually quite interesting over the Baltimore Ravens, but I'm with Hayden. You can't go against the Ravens; they're just too good. But I reckon this will be closer than people think. I'll go the Ravens by 7. I'll go 25-18 Ravens, and I reckon Mark Andrews will get a touchdown.
Yeah, the New York Jets have also done some really nice recruiting as well. I think they're going to give Baltimore Ravens a hell of a scare. For me, the Ravens, ever since I've started watching NFL, they're a team that you just don't count out ever. You shouldn't ever discount their credentials. I am going to play it safe and tip Baltimore, but I think the Jets are going to give them a mighty, mighty big run for their money. And I think it'll be something similar to Nick from Australia's bet there, 25 points to 18. I do think this will be a pretty good game, actually. So moving into the next contest now, and Nick, we'll get the odds from you now, man. Atlanta Falcons are hosting the New Orleans Saints from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. And these two sides are obviously NFC South rivals. Both these sides shared the wins last year. So there's no real form line to either of these two sides. It's just neck and neck. But the big thing here for this season for the Atlanta Falcons is obviously the omission that Matt Ryan is no longer an Atlanta Falcon. Nick from Australia, man, what are the odds for this contest?
So the Saints are $1.45 and the Falcons are $2.80. Not bad. I'm tempted to go the Falcons. I really am. I don't mind an upset at home, especially at $2.80. But I'm going to go the Saints by 2. I reckon it's going to be a really tight game. I'm going to go the Saints something like 17-15. And for a touchdown, let's go with Michael Thomas from the Saints to score.
Yeah, dude. Okay, House, man. What do you reckon about this?
Well, the big interesting thing for this game, I've obviously mentioned that kind of $1.80, $1.90 difference in price with the line, but the bookies actually have the line as $1.90 each way, which is the first game of NFL this week where they kind of can't pick. So they have the margin at 5 points. You have the Saints as favourites, as Nick mentioned, and then you have Falcons as outsiders, which Nick is backing that at 5.5 as he's backing them to keep in that close margin. For me, it's at Atlanta, which is tough, but I think the Saints will win this. I think the Saints could have a really good start to the year. I'll have to check, but I'm pretty sure from my ladder predictor, I think I had them winning at least their first 2 or 3 games in a row. I think the Saints win well. I think the Saints win by 10. I'm trying to think of a scoreline now, but a bit tough on the spot. Look, I'll go with a scoreline of I'll go by 9. I'll go 19 points to 10.
Okay. No, thank you, man. And look, New Orleans Saints, they weren't too far away from playoffs. They just had a few injuries that didn't go their way. Nothing bad like the Baltimore Ravens, as House mentioned before, but the Saints were a bit injury-riddled last year. They weren't too far away from playoffs. Falcons, from what I've heard, from what I've studied up, a lot of people have them as the wooden spoon. And $2.80, I think, is even being a little bit too respectful towards Atlanta, even though it's at home and it's week 1. I'm going to go the New Orleans Saints. I don't think they'll blow them out of the water because we need to see how they're going to go in attack. So I'm going to go something akin to a 23-13 sort of scoreline towards the New Orleans Saints. Let's move on to the next contest now, and it's the Houston Texans hosting the Indianapolis Colts from NRG Stadium. And both these sides, they are AFC South rivals, and both these sides, obviously, because they're rivals in the same division, faced each other twice last season, and the collective scoreline was 62 points to 3 in favor of the Indianapolis Colts. So the Texans are the Colts' bitches, for lack of a better phrase there. Entertain House, what are the odds for this contest?
So you got the Texans big outsiders, even though it's at home, $3.78 to the Indianapolis Colts, $1.27. I just want to touch on their previous 2 encounters, both in last year, October and December. In both of those games, the Colts managed to score 31 points, 31-3 at Lucas Oil Stadium, and then at NRG, 31 points to 0, but both the Colts winning well. So I can't see anything other here than a big Colts victory. And the bookies actually have Texans to keep within a touchdown as the favorite, but you're getting $2 and $2.01 for the Colts to win by more than a touchdown, and I think they will. I think they'll be quite impressive to start. I honestly think they'll put on a bit of a score here. I think they'll win by about a margin of 17 points. So, trying to think of an exact scoreline, I'll go with a 28 points to 13, something like that, maybe. I think that's 15, but yeah.
And Nick, what do you reckon about this match?
The Colts will win this.
Yeah.
Houston might start the game well. They might be spirited early, but the Colts will be too good. I'll go the Colts by, let's go something like 25 to 9.
Okay.
And Jonathan Taylor to get a touchdown.
And you bloody bugger. You just beat me to it too. He is the man to watch for the Colts this season. He was he was in conversations for the MVP last year. So the Colts also lost to Jacksonville Jaguars in that final week. And all they had to do was beat Jacksonville in Jacksonville, and they make the playoffs. So I think you both are right. I think they're going to come out firing the Colts to start 2022. And yeah, I think it's going to be a victory by at least 2 touchdowns for the Indianapolis Colts. Let's move on to the next contest. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yes?
I'll go Alex Pierce for a touchdown here. He's big overs, in my opinion, at $3.90. So I like Alex Pierce to score a touchdown for the Colts as well.
Nice. No, thank you, man. Thank you. Moving on to the next contest now. A few more games left to go. This one's from Nissan Stadium in Tennessee. The Tennessee Titans hosting the New York Giants. It's been a while since the Giants have played at Tennessee, since 2018. The last time they won in Tennessee was 2014 as well. Nick from Australia, what are the bets for this contest, please, man?
Tennessee Titans $1.40. New York Giants $2.95.
How do you reckon this contest is going to go, bro?
Like I said before, there is always a disappointing team of round one. And I reckon Tennessee will be the disappointment of round one. The New York Giants are my specials of the weekend. They will win. And I reckon New York Giants will win by 8. I reckon 20-12. New York Giants are going to cause a huge upset here. The ambush, and I reckon Barkley will get a touchdown.
I'm absolutely floored by that. That is such a gutsy tip, bro. And look, week one does bring the upset. House, what's your opinion of Nick's tip, man? And how do you see this game going?
Crazy tip for Nick there. I think that the Giants worked on their defense throughout 2021 season quite well. I just want to read back their few victories because they were defensive victories. A win against the Eagles, who were obviously in the not playoffs, what's the word? Play-in or a wild card.
Yep.
You had a win against the Raiders 23-16. A very comprehensive win 25-3 over the Carolina Panthers. So this team really can defend, and Titans are one of those offensive teams that are going to be really good. But I feel like this will be high scoring, and I feel like this will be really, really close. So I am going to go with the Titans by 4. I'm going to go with the scoreline of 23-27.
Wow. Now, look, we mentioned it before. Antonio Brown has left the Tennessee Titans. That's a massive hole that they need to fill. But they still have running back Derrick Henry in their back pocket, who is just explosive, even at the worst of times, man. The Tennessee Titans, I don't think their Super Bowl window has closed, but I think this is the final year, man, because I think Ryan Tannehill will probably finish his career in the next 2 seasons at Tennessee, man. So, but New York Giants, man, they were pretty hopeless last season, man. They were really kind of dumb, to be honest with you. I'm going to go to the Tennessee Titans to win this one. Not completely blow them out of the water, but just win comfortably a 27 points to 10 scoreline towards the Tennessee Titans in this game, man. Let's move on to the next game. And these two sides, I don't think you'd say it's a rivalry, but they are AFC divisional rivals, man. NFC North divisional rivals. So we've got the Minnesota Vikings hosting the Green Bay Packers, and both these sides split the wins last season. These matches are usually pretty close, man. How do we see this going, Nick?
Green Bay $1.80 favourites. Minnesota at $2. So pretty even money. I'm going to go Minnesota at home, $2. I don't know. Home ground advantage from round one. It has to mean something for some sides. So I'm going to go Minnesota by 3. I'll go 16-13. Bit of a low-scoring game. And I'm going to go with Aaron Jones for a touchdown.
Nice, man. Nice. Entertain House, Green Bay Packers versus Minnesota. What do you reckon?
It's always a good game, this one. It always seemed, what's his name? Tom Grossi. If you watch Tom Grossi's YouTube channel, I always love watching Tom Grossi. He always used to talk about, you mentioned a little bit of the rivalry between the Packers and the Vikings there. Look, I could see Minnesota getting up at home, but I think the Packers, they've been really dominant in recent seasons. I don't think they will be as dominant this year. I still think that they will be there in the playoffs come the end of the year. But I think they'll, like Nick, I think they'll win by 3. I'm going to go the Packers to win 20-17. I feel like it'll be lower than that for some reason, but I'm gonna say 20-17. But I like the unders here as well. What are the unders? 47. I like under 47 points at $1.89.
Whoop. You got the unders?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Now, sorry, I think the dodo bird just tried to infiltrate me. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to shoot that fucking bird away, crack its neck. Minnesota versus Green Bay. The Minnesota Vikings, they're dealing with a brand new coach. The Green Bay Packers, they lost Devontae Adams, for example. They've lost a couple of key personnel as well. So they're going to be very new look this season, both these sides. I can't, unfortunately, as much as I don't like the bloke, to be frank with you, I think Aaron Rodgers is still around. I think he's going to lead the Packers to a victory. This will be close. It could be another overtime contest. I think 20-13 is a scoreline that we can anticipate to see. And I'm going to go the Green Bay Packers to win this contest. And I think the following match could be the game of the round. It is the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Las Vegas Raiders from SoFi Stadium. And if you recall, last year, these two sides met in the final game of the regular season in a wild encounter. And it was the Las Vegas Raiders that won right at the end there. Nick from Australia, what are the odds for Chargers versus Raiders, please, sir?
The Chargers are $1.50 and the Raiders are at $2.50. So really nice value there for the Las Vegas Raiders. This is a toss the coin for me. This could go either way. The Raiders are good value at $2.50, but I'm going to go the Chargers. I just feel at home. Just. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go the Los Angeles Chargers by 2. I'll go 28-26, high-scoring contest. And I reckon Austin Aguilar, I can't even fucking pronounce his last name, he will get a touchdown.
Was that Austin Eckler, I think it was, man?
Yeah, that's the one.
Eckler, yeah, no, and he's going to be in for a good season. Entertain House, Chargers versus Raiders, how do you see it?
Yeah, it's going to be a massive game, this one. The Chargers have a point to prove that they can be a charge at the title in a lot of people's opinion this year. As for the Raiders, they're going under the radar a lot this season. They're $2.54 for this game. I'm going to tip the Chargers by 1. I reckon this game will come right down to the wire, and I reckon they'll be the difference by scoring a touchdown or maybe kicking a field goal by 1 in a high-scoring encounter. I'm going to go with a scoreline of 24-23 in favor of the Chargers. I love that the bookies are giving you $1.85 for the Raiders plus 3.5. So if you think they'll win the game or lose it by less than 3 or less, so that field goal, which we all think it's going to be right down to the wire, I really like that bet.
Yo, nice. Thank you. Thank you for that, man. Las Vegas Raiders at $2.50 with the recruitment of Devontae Adams and another couple of pieces as well. They've got a brand new coach. The drama that they experienced last season, it just can't be matched, can it? Like fair dinkum, the Raiders last season were bloody bold and beautiful. And the Los Angeles Chargers, man, they've done some nice recruitment in themselves. I think this is going to be a fantastic contest, but I'm tipping the Las Vegas Raiders. That $2.50, way too juicy, man. And I think this will be akin to something like I think both these sides will finish inside the 20s. I think it'll be like a 27-25 sort of scoreline, 27-24 scoreline. So I think this is going to go right down to the wire. 3 more contests left, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. This is the Week 1 NFL Tipping Show. And to everyone that's in the live chat still, thank you very much for the continuous support. And Entertain House, man, it's your time to shine, bro. The Arizona Cardinals are hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. The last time that these two sides played each other was in 2018. The last time that Kansas City Chiefs won in Arizona was 2006. Entertain House, bro, what are the odds for this one, and how do you see your team going this year, mate?
Yeah, we go into this game as favourites, even though we have that horrible record at Arizona, $1.37 favourites, and the handicap expecting us to win by 5 or more. The Arizona Cardinals are nice value, coming off a big season last year, and they are $3.10. They are huge odds, especially at home, for the Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, Tyreek Hill He's a huge loss for the side. We've also recruited Juju Smith-Schuster. He is $2.40 to score his first touchdown potentially in these colours. But for me, I like the value in Travis Kelce. Not for an anytime touchdown at $1.70, but just first touchdown $7.50. You can't go wrong there for mine. Pat's going to be up for a big year. He's going to contest for that MVP title, and I don't think we can win the Super Bowl or even potentially be there. But I do think Patrick Mahomes at about $9, $10 is actually a really good bet to get MVP, especially with him breaking some previous records throughout previous seasons. But I'm going to go the Chiefs in a bit of a tight one here. I think that 5.5 line is pretty close to what I want to take, but I'll take us by a touchdown. I think a touchdown will be the difference. I think it will be fairly low scoring. I think both of these teams have plenty of attack in them, but I think it will be tight. So I'm going to go with a scoreline of 21-14 in favour of the Chiefs.
Nick from Australia, bro. How do you see it?
I think Kansas City are a level above. I reckon they'll win easy. I really do. I'm going to go the Chiefs scoreline of 29-13. I think they'll be far too good. And for a touchdown, let's go Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Is that how you pronounce his last name?
Close enough, mate. Joe, Nick from Australia, bro. I'm in 100% agreement with you, bro. The Cardinals faded that badly towards the end of last season that I think they're going to start on the back foot. Kansas City Chiefs, they've lost a couple of really good pieces to their puzzle, bro, but they've recruited themselves. They've been contenders for 3-4 years now, man. That just doesn't dissipate like the click of a finger, man. So I think they're going to come out firing. And the drama that I can't remember the quarterback's name. It's just left me. But the quarterback's name for the Arizona Cardinals, his drama throughout the entire year, him bitching and moaning about. Thank you, Kyler Murray. Thank you, Kyler Murray, man, has been an off-field distraction, bro. He's been pretty weird.
He was favourite all year for Super Bowl MVP as well. Obviously, they had that phenomenal start to the season. He was favourite, let's not forget, for MVP throughout that entire season until maybe week 13 coming into that last couple of weeks. But, yeah.
No, you're exactly right, man. And Kyler Murray's got a lot to I don't know, prove is the right word, but he owes a month of really good football to the Arizona Cardinal fans, man, and to justify the $500 million contract, multi-year contract that he signed recently, man. So he's got to prove his worth, bro, this season, man. So I'm going to tip the Kansas City Chiefs to win by a very similar scoreline that Nick from Australia projected there, like a 29-13 scoreline. I think the Chiefs indeed are a level above the Arizona Cardinals. Second last game, this is Sunday Night Football. This is live on Monday, Australian Eastern Standard Time, approximately 11 a.m. The Dallas Cowboys are hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Nick from Australia, mate, what are the prices for this one?
This should be a cracker. I reckon this might be one of the best games of round one. This game's kicking off at 10:20 on Monday morning. So this should be a cracker. Tampa Bay, $1.70. Dallas Cowboys, $2.15. So good value for Dallas. The beautiful AT&T Stadium. This is going to be a cracker. But I'm going to go Tampa Bay.
Yep.
I reckon Tampa Bay win by 10. I'll go 32-22. High-scoring game, this one. I can see it happening. I just like Tampa Bay. I think, obviously, we'll get to it soon, but they could win the Super Bowl this year. They are one hell of a team. And I reckon Mike Evans will be getting a touchdown for Tampa Bay this weekend.
Yeah, I think that's a great bet. That's a really good bet. Entertain House, man, how do you see this going?
Yeah, this is going to be a great game. I actually think this is probably the game of the round, if not for that Raiders and Chargers game. I'm looking forward to this one. This is at 10:20 a.m. on Monday, so hopefully I get a 10-minute work break to sneak in and watch a bit of this one. So I want to get behind it. I'm going to go Julio Jones to score a touchdown.
Yep.
This is my upset of the week. I reckon Dallas are going to come out firing here. They're at home as well. I'm tipping Dallas to win by 2. I'm going to go with the scoreline of 17-15. Like you boys said, there are teams that are on another level. Now, one of those teams for me is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. However, Dallas were quite good for the most part throughout last season. And I think they can do that again. I think they can work off that, work on their defense. I feel like it will be pretty low scoring. And I think Tampa Bay still have some issues in their side. So I'm going to go Dallas to win this game in an upset.
Nice. And you're exactly right. The offensive line for Tampa Bay, well, it's great for Cincinnati Bengals, like we mentioned before. The offensive line for Tampa Bay Buccaneers could restrict Tom Brady, who returns from being retired for 2 minutes, from making sure that he wins a Super Bowl title at the end of this season. Dallas Cowboys, again, you're right, House. They actually were not bad. They weren't bad last year, man. Yeah, they had a bad loss or two here and there, but overall, they made the playoffs. They came within a whisker or a knee down of beating the 49ers, man. And I can't go past the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are a level above the Dallas Cowboys. Tom Brady is going to go hell for leather this season. But yeah, the worry is the offensive line, and it is purely the defense of the Dallas Cowboys that is in question in this contest just for now. So Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this one in a pretty entertaining contest. And also, just another stat, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the Cowboys and the Buccaneers have played each other at least 10 times since the year 2001. The Buccaneers have not won in Dallas since 2001, after maybe 5 or so visits to Dallas's home ground. So that's a massive stat that they need to overcome, and I think they will. Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this one by a touchdown. And then we move in to Monday Night Football. Go you Seahawks! Don't care if Russell Wilson's not there. You're my freaking team. The Seattle Seahawks are hosting the Denver Broncos, and the massive storyline in this game is that Russell Wilson got shifted to the Denver Broncos. He is facing his old team for the first time in week 1. This is going to be a very emotional game. Now, both of these franchises' trajectories look a little bit north and south, to be perfectly honest, but this is going to be such a massive event simply because of the emotion that will pour out by the Seahawks hosting this game and Russell Wilson playing his first game in Denver Broncos colours for the first time. Nick from Australia, mate, tell me, what are the prices for this contest?
Well, this game's on Tuesday morning at 10:15 a.m., so not a bad time slot for this game for us here in Australia. But Denver Broncos, $1.40. Seattle Seahawks at $3.05. Sam, I know you're a big Seahawks fan, but I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Yous are going to get humiliated at home. Denver are going to have a big win to start the year, bro. Denver win, and Denver win well. I'm going to go Denver. I'm going to go 33 points to 12. And, well, I hope I'm wrong because I want your team to get up for you, mate. But Javonte Williams is going to score a touchdown for the Broncos.
So Entertain House, that was the last time we see Nick from Australia on the NFL Tipping Show. Is this the last time that we see you, Entertain House?
Yeah, I think it is the last time. However, I give you credit, and I don't think you're going to get blown away here. You mentioned the emotion. It's going to be look. The Seahawks remind me of, I guess, Collingwood in the AFL this year, where they've had these years where they've been dominant, right? However, you don't expect much of them, and they really could be a surprise packet. I don't think it's the case, but I think especially at Lumen Field, they have to prove something.
Yep.
I reckon you'll keep them to that 1-13 victory. I don't reckon. I'm going to say it first. I reckon Denver win 1-13. Stay away from that 280, 14 plus. Don't listen to Nick there. Listen to Entertain House with Denver 1-13 at $2.45. I reckon Denver will win by 10. So I'm going to go with a scoreline of 27-17.
Bloody hell. Now, these two sides haven't played each other since 2018. It's only the third time since Super Bowl 2013 as well, and they've shared the points there. Denver haven't won in Seattle since 2000 7-2. And the
That's
starting
fucked.
quarter, it's a long time. And the starting quarterback for Seattle Seahawks is Geno Smith. And look, he had a couple of really nice patches of brilliance, actually, a few times there. I think, in particularly against the New Orleans Saints. It's a rebuild year. There's no bullshitting around it. There's no sugarcoating it. But I'm still going to back my team. The Seattle Seahawks. They're going to ambush him. Russell Wilson. Both of you gentlemen mentioned combinations may not be at its peak in week one, and I'm really hoping that that's the case for Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos. So Seattle Seahawks are going to win this one. It won't be defensively. It'll be offensively. It'll be something akin to a 23 points to 17 victory. And Seattle Seahawks are going to win this one by a single solitary touchdown. Now, just before we wrap things up, that's it for the tips. Thank you very much for that, gentlemen. Now, let's just quickly give our dark horse tip and our Super Bowl tip, starting with you, Entertain House, please.
There's a lot riding on the Bills this season, and they've been really, really good in recent years. And I think they may go to the Super Bowl. I think they may qualify for the Super Bowl. But I think the Rams' retention, I think their retention has been huge. So for me, my Super Bowl tip will probably be the Rams to go back-to-back. Obviously, it kind of depends on the earlier weeks and the injury, but as I mentioned it earlier, my dark horse, I think the Ravens. I think Baltimore can really, really push towards the title this year.
So if the Rams were to make so who would the Rams be facing then for you, mate?
Well, I've got to work out that's the hard part of NFL sometimes, the differences. So the Rams are from the NFC, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, I reckon they'll face Buffalo. I reckon we'll have a Bills versus Rams, but unfortunately for you Bills fans, just like Parramatta Eels, it's been a long time, and I think it will continue to be a long time.
Yo, dude, yo. Thank you, dude. And Nick, what is your Super Bowl tip? And who is your dark horse, mate?
I've got a couple of predictions here. So I've got Super Bowl most improved team to slide off, fall off a cliff. So I reckon the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win the entire thing. I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. It's their season. They're going to win the whole thing. They're paying $8 to win the Super Bowl. So some juicy odds there. You throw 5 on 8, you win $40. So can't argue with that. So Tampa Bay are going to win the Super Bowl this year. A team I reckon is going to slide a little bit and not do as good as what they're expected. I reckon Green Bay might go a little bit backwards. I'm not high on them. I think they could go back a bit. I still reckon they'll be in the finals and whatnot, but I reckon they might fall off a little bit. They won't be as good as what they have been in previous years. And my most improved team, I think Dallas. The Dallas Cowboys are going to improve a lot. I think they're in for a pretty good season. I really do. And my dark horse, well, if they get it right, they could be anything. Dark horse, I reckon the Philadelphia Eagles are in a dark horse side. If they click on their day, they could be anything. They're so hot and cold from year after year. So Philadelphia is my dark horse. Dallas are my most improved. I think Green Bay are going to go a little bit backwards, but overall, I think Tampa's going to win the whole thing. Tampa Bay to win the Super Bowl this year.
You know who I think is going to go backwards, and you boys are going to go absolutely nuts?
Who?
I reckon they're going to be right down the bottom, pushing for that wild card spot rather than being the Super Bowl. They're still going to play really well, but I reckon the Bengals. I reckon the Bengals will be around that. I'll put them around that 4th, 5th, 6th mark. I wouldn't put them top 4. I think there are some teams that have recruited better than them. That retention of the Rams is still such a threat. The Chiefs have had some nice signings. Tampa Bay, obviously Tom Brady with his one-day retirement. So for me, I still think the Bengals make the playoffs. It'll be crazy for someone to tip them outside of them. But I do see them going backwards and dropping off. I don't see them being a 1st, 2nd, or 3rd seed team.
I do reckon the Raiders might be like. I don't reckon the Raiders are going to be anything scary, but I reckon they're going to be pretty decent this year. The Las Vegas Raiders.
Yep, absolutely agreed, man. The Raiders are going to cause some headaches, bro. And look, on the Bengals house, bro, like I don't think that's a bad call. For example, the Broncos and the Carolina Panthers faced each other in a Super Bowl approximately 6 years ago or thereabouts. I think it was Super Bowl 50, if I'm not mistaken. And after that Super Bowl, it was like, wow, the Panthers came from nowhere to be here, and let's see how they go the next season with a Super Bowl experience under their belt. And they went straight downhill. And it's happened to other clubs before, but that's probably the most recent example that I can give. Arizona Cardinals being another one as well. I fear that could be the case for the Cincinnati Bengals, but they haven't lost anyone. They've strengthened their weakness. So I did say before that I think they're going to be right up there so far as AFC Championship games go, you know. But there is like this nasty bastard in me that is fearing that what you said, House, is going to come to fruition, where they might end up in a wild card spot, bro. Like it could happen, such as the way NFL goes like that. For me, my dark horse is actually the San Francisco 49ers. They have pretty much kept their team, really, and they signed Deebo Samuel, and they went to Green Bay last year and got the dub. And they only just lost to the Los Angeles Rams, man. I think they're going to be in it with a massive shot to appear in the Super Bowl. But I think we're going to get Tampa Bay versus Buffalo Bills. And you know what? Tom Brady, I think he's going to go out with a Super Bowl ring. I don't want to say unfortunately because he is the GOAT, you know, but it's just like Brady, he's going to be there again. And he's going to walk away with the victory. So I'm tipping Tampa Bay versus Buffalo Super Bowl. Guys, that's it. We've gone an hour. I hope we weren't too long, man. But I've really enjoyed this conversation tonight. And again, Nick, thank you very much for planting the seed. And House, thank you for joining me at the 11th hour. Nick, is there anything coming up on your channel? Is there anything that you'd like to promote, bro?
Yeah, going to be doing Super League elimination final preview probably in about 10 or 20 minutes or so. Going to set that up. Yep. Super League finals start this weekend, so that's going to be interesting. Also, got podcast tomorrow night, and I'll be in Sydney all weekend, so it's going to be fantastic.
Yes, mate. And Entertain House, man, is there anything that's coming up for you that you want to share to the public?
Yeah, I'll start the bottom 8 NRL team season reviews very shortly as we get into the week 1 of the final. Myself and Nick will be attending Sunday's Roosters-Rabbitohs elimination games. There'll be a big vlog from that game. And obviously Parramatta taking on the Panthers on Friday. It is going to be the vlog of the year, in my opinion. If it is a close game, if it isn't a blowout, then it will be a really big vlog. So really looking forward to 2 huge vlogs on the channel this weekend.
And I'll be sitting on me backside, poorer than a freaking peasant in the medieval times, watching it on me telly. Fair dinkum. But
Get the alcohol, bro. Get the alcohol.
I'll hit the alcohol, man. I'll have a drink for everyone in the coffee lounge, everyone for the Talking Para podcast. I'll drink for friggin' everyone. But anyways, that's it for us, guys. Hope you all have a very nice weekend. And Entertain House and Nick from Australia again, thank you so much for joining me, and safe travels as well to Sydney. Enjoy the weekend. NFL season is back, and if it's anywhere near as good as what it was last season, holy fuck, we're in for a really, really good year. Enjoy, everybody. Take care. Adios.